Be patient. Time will reinstate thy health and fortunes. I love reading books. Not really. Actually, I don't. Happy Wednesday. Hope everyone's having a good Wednesday so far. It is October the 9th. We're cruising in October. I hope everyone's enjoying all the cool holiday decorations. I absolutely am. It's really cool, the hanging candles and everything. It's really spookified in here and I love it. We are so excited about the new podcast. It's doing quite well and it sounds great. Eamon, very good job reading, doing the narrating, and everybody else that's worked on it. Little tease that we're going to do this in Christmas. Yeah, Creepy Tales in Christmas. Well, it won't be Creepy Tales in Christmas, but it'll be Tales of Hollow Hills, Christmas version. But since the town of Hollow Hills is, spooky and got these crazy legends, this is the Christmas version of that. So that's something to look forward to in December. Those are in December. But for now, we've got a very special treat for you, which is a special premiere of Thursday's podcast. Yeah, today's Wednesday. This isn't airing for everybody else until tomorrow. So you guys are getting the first listen right here. Now, before we listen to that, I gotta let you know, we're gonna have a guest speaker here at 10 o'clock this morning from Drail. They're going to go over some really cool services. Drail is a great company that we connect with often on various different services for you folks out there and for companies like us, help coordinate things, great knowledge base. So we're gonna have a special guest here at 10 o'clock, so we're gonna hang out, listen to that, and we'll do some cool stuff after that. All right, now for the premiere special, just for you guys, of our podcast, The Creepy Tales of Hollow Hills. Here is The Halloween Stranger.
The Creepy Tales of Hollow Hills. We will journey deep into the legends of this awkward little town. Today's episode, The Halloween Stranger. This podcast is presented by VCDI and TCDI. It was Halloween night in Hollow Hills, and the small town was alive with the sounds of children laughing, the rustling of leaves, and the occasional distant howl of the wind. The air was crisp, filled with the scent of autumn, and the streets were lined with glowing jack-o'-lanterns, their flickering faces casting eerie shadows. Maggie, a teenager who has outgrown trick-or-treating, decided to stay home and hand out candy while her parents attended a Halloween party. She enjoyed the thrill of watching horror movies and seeing the little kids in their costumes. Her house, located at the edge of town, was one of the oldest, with the creaky wooden floors and an attic that had always given her the creeps. As the night wore on, fewer and fewer trick-or-treaters came by. Maggie noticed that a thick fog had started to roll in, making the streets look like something out of one of her horror films. She shivered, wrapping her sweater tighter around her as she sat by the front door, waiting for any late-night visitors. Just as she was about to close up for the night, there was a soft knock at the door. Maggie smiled, thinking it must be one last straggler hoping for some candy. She grabbed the bowl and opened the door. Standing there was a figure dressed in a long, tattered cloak, the hood that obscured their face entirely. That figure was much taller than any child and stood unnervingly still, saying nothing.
Nice costume,
Maggie said, trying to keep her voice cheerful.
Take as much as you like.
The figure didn't move, didn't reach out for the candy. Maggie's smile faltered as an uneasy feeling crept over her. The figure's silence was unnerving, and the longer they stood there, the more the air around them seemed to grow colder.
Are you okay?
Maggie asked, her voice trembling slightly. Suddenly, the figure tilted its head, and Maggie could hear a faint whisper, like the wind but more sinister, emanating from beneath the hood. She strained to understand the words, but they were too distorted, too distant, as if coming from another realm. Without warning, the figure reached out with a pale skeletal hand, grabbing Maggie's wrist with a grip like ice. She gasped, dropping the candy bowl, its contents scattering across the porch. In a panic, Maggie tried to pull away, but the figure's grip tightened, and the whispering grew louder and more insistent. Her heart raced as she stared into the darkness of the hood, where two glowing crimson eyes suddenly appeared, piercing through her very soul. Just as she was about to scream, the figure's mouth stretched into a wide, unnatural grin, revealing rows of sharp, jagged teeth. The figure let out a bone-chilling laugh, a sound that echoed through the night. Maggie wrenched herself free, stumbling backwards into the house. She slammed the door shut, her breath coming in short, terrified gasps. She fumbled with the lock, her hands shaking uncontrollably. But when she finally turned around, the figure was standing right behind her, inside the house, its glowing eyes and wicked grin, the last thing she saw before the lights went out. The next morning, Maggie's parents returned home to find the house empty, the door ajar, and a single tattered cloak lying on the floor by the front door. Maggie was never found, but on every Halloween night since, a figure in a tattered cloak has been seen wandering the streets of Hollow Hills, silently searching for its next victim.
See, this is why I was always, as a kid, I really was always very nervous. I lived in a very dark, we didn't even have street lights. Actually, I take that back. I think there was like 2 street lights on our very long street in Seattle. It's outside of Seattle, way away from, far from town. It's always cloudy in October. By the time it's Halloween, you go trick-or-treating. It is dark outside, I mean dark. Flashlights are barely cutting through the darkness. And I was always scared when the people would come up to the door, because we didn't live around, I mean, there was a lot of people on the street, but houses were kind of far apart a little bit, you know? There wasn't that many trick-or-treaters, so when people came to the door Halloween night, it was a little creepy sometimes. I always wanted to just go straight to my room, count my candy, and be done. But anyway, you guys got the first listen to that. Hope you enjoyed it. We've got more to come. This will air on our podcasts on Apple, iTunes podcasts, Spotify podcast, and YouTube podcasts. It will air for your pleasure and listening enjoyment as many times you want to hear it. Tomorrow, Thursday, that'll come out. And then, of course, new episodes the rest of the month, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Those come out. Very cool stuff. Be sure to, if you go to Apple iTunes, if you go to Spotify, if you go to YouTube, subscribe to those channels. Follow those channels. Like, share that stuff. Hey, if you know someone that likes creepy stories, send it to them. send it to them in a text. Copy the link, send it to them in a text. Share it from Facebook or YouTube or whatever. Share it with people. Let them enjoy the holiday fun that we got going here. They like the creepy tales of Hollow Hills. All right, guys, that is it for today. Regular episodes coming back really, really soon. We got some cool stuff for you, but we're really excited about this podcast stuff. We want to get it out there and get it going, so we're giving you guys some extra looks right here. All right, have a great rest of your Wednesday. We'll see you Thursday on The Morning Routine. Take care, everybody.